Hey guys, Rocky again. Welcome back to another video. So, all being well, you should be seeing on screen a video I've taken of my recently completed Star Trek Enterprise D Warp Core. This is the version 3 of the model. So this video is basically just me having a stream of consciousness into the mic here about how the project came around, how I've been working on it for over 2 years now. This isn't my model, by the way, this is somebody else's, but I had an absolute nightmare of a time getting this thing to print. So I first started this, I was looking, it was March of 2023 when I ordered one of the first components on the internet for it. At that time the Warp Core was a version 2 and the internals were significantly different than they are today, and would have required a hell of a lot more soldering had I ever gotten that far with it. So the main problem back then, the reason I didn't finish it, was in the video you can see the central chamber, the sort of donut shaped thing. That is an absolute nightmare to print, my life in it anyway. On my previous printers I just couldn't get that chamber to print correctly. It would come off, it would look horrendous at the back, the supports, and because I only had a single colour printer at the time, the clear bits, they were all printed separately, and then I could never get them to go and it was a mess. And then the rest of it, printed most of the rest of it, and it sat in a box. I did buy the LEDs and start soldering them together, and then I stopped that as well when I realised that that's going to look crap with the chamber in the state it was in, which is lucky because 2.5 years later, when I came to have a look at this, when I discovered a version 3 of the project, yeah, the LEDs I'd bought were the wrong ones. So you need to buy, it's all in the bill of materials on the, I'll link it down below, the Maker World page on it. That's where I printed it from. The chamber printed fine on both my Bamboo printers. I used them both for this. No problems at all, no failed prints, no nothing. So back to the LEDs, you need to have, it's a certain type of LED, it's listed in the thing, but they need to be 100 LEDs per meter. Not 124 and not 60, they need to be 100 for the whole thing to work. There's also some really important information in the comments on that link that show about the direction that these have to be wired up in, because you can't just, because the way the microcontroller or the Arduino controls it, it assumes that the strips are going a certain way, and if you solder it up backwards like somebody might have done previously, it looks an absolute state. So yeah, that's when I finally got it working. As you can see here, there are different LED modes as this video progresses. They're fast, slow, different colours, but yeah, it looks very, very impressive. It's such a cool project. I really enjoyed making it. It's one of my new favourite 3D prints. The electronics, I'll have a background in electronics, so the soldering was a bit, it was fine. It was a bit fiddly at places, and you have to be careful not to burn things when there's, you know, soldering irons and 3D printers, printed parts all mixed together. Bit thing, and I did use some cable ties inside, but you can't see any of that. So yeah, it looks really good. I mean, my soldering is not the greatest, but it is what it is. So again, I'm just going to chat about some of the issues I had with it. The first one I've already mentioned there was I bought the wrong LEDs to start with, which was great. Second one is I attached the pin headers to the microcontroller. You don't really need to do that, and that actually caused problems later on down the line, getting it to slide into the base, but it is what it is. The push button switch behind the TNG Combadge logo, that's not a momentary switch, that's a latching switch, a 7mm latching switch. That's not, you might fall into the trap of ordering the wrong one like some of us did. So the power supply is quite a beefy one. It says it wanted 5 volt at 4 amps. I ordered a 5 volt at 4 amps. I don't know if it actually needs all of that. I was thinking USB-C, but then there's problems with power delivery, etc, etc. So I just stuck with what was in the bill of materials on the actual website, on the Maker World website. There is I'm going to link him down below. There's a guy, a YouTube channel with a couple of hundred subscribers. He's got a 4-part making video, a lot more detailed than this. I think it's good to watch that before you start building it. I found that really useful and it helped me. So I'm going to run through what it cost me. Like, this is just general, because this isn't taken into account. This is assuming you have things like a soldering iron, 3D printers, wire to solder it together. Although if you're buying all that, that could add up a lot more, especially obviously 3D printers. This is not a beginner project. There are far easier things to start with. So according to the MakerWorld site, it takes 29.7 hours, so say 30 hours to print it all in. It uses a total, and there are multiple different filament colours here, of about 654 grams of filament. That might be slightly more, slightly less. So filament's roughly 10 to £20 a kilo. So if you round it up to say £10, it's not that, because there's multiple colours involved. The clear filament alone. Yeah. So the switches, the latching ones. So I probably could have got it cheaper, but I just went Amazon Prime because I couldn't be arsed waiting for stuff to come from eBay or China. I had to buy a pack of 4, and that was $8.99. The power supply, I went with a decent one, not something that was actually with ratings and stuff. That was so again, that's a barrel type connector, 5 volt, 4 amp. That was £13.99. The LED strips, 2 of them came to £31.98. The socket on the back, the power socket on the back, I bought a really nice looking one with a little dust cap and stuff. That came in part of a kit with other bits in it. There was another connector, etc, etc. So that was £4.99. Then on the front, you'll notice there the wire running through the coil. Now there's 9 segments of that. In this 9 segments, I bought that. I actually bought that quite a few years ago. I was on eBay looking at it. 9 of them. I just bought it to length. There's certain degrees of sizes, piano wire, music wire. It's like so there's 9 lengths at 300mm each, and that came to £13.50. I probably could have got that a lot cheaper if I just bought a length and just cut it myself. But again, it is what it is. The Wemos D1 Mini, the Arduino that you used to control it, that was actually really cheap. That was £3.67, but I did buy that in March of 2023. So what else did I unexpected? That is obviously not including all the costs of all the failed prints I had on previous printers, wrong components I bought. So roughly about £87.12 it cost me to build this. But that's not taking into account, like there's in the video you can see there's a a barrel plug extension connector, because the power supply cable's only a metre long, and I bought an extension for where this is going to live. It's not going to be easy. So I bought an extension for that. That's again another additional cost. And then obviously your time, if you value your time, and again this is assuming you have all the components. Now, the guy that put the files up on MakerWorld, he does sell these commercially if you want to buy it, and he's currently charging £267 for one. So yeah, if you want to buy one, £267, or you can build it for about £90, £100, say, assuming you have a soldering iron, can solder, you not use a 3D printer, and you have filament. It looks amazing. I mean, I know they're working on another version of it, but this one just looks great. I really love it. It doesn't have any sound. The sound you hear in the background here is just a Star Trek Warp Core generic background sound I've just stolen from the internet and then just put that in there to make it sound good. But yeah, it's my first. This is one of the I wouldn't say it's the most complicated 3D print I've ever built, because I've built far bigger stuff and far more complex stuff that I haven't really seen, but this is one that I really, really like, and it just looks so impressive. So, yep, that's me waffling now. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.